with another crochet tutorial, and in today's tutorial I'm going to teach you how to make your very own hair elastics and scrunchies. So this is kind of the basic hair elastic option, and then you can also make it look a little bit more ruffly and scrunchy-like. Still gonna give you your benefits of your hair elastic, but it's gonna make it a little bit more fun. So I'm gonna get started with the basic hair elastic style, and then I'll show you how to add ruffles onto the ends of it so that it kind of scrunches up. Once it's in your hair, you're gonna have like a little flower on there, which is super cute. For today's tutorial, I'm going to be using this really pretty, soft, sort of sage green cotton yarn, and I will link in the description where I got that one. You're also going to need some elastic. You can use an actual hair elastic. That's what I did for this one. Just one of my typical, awesome hair elastics. And you can use one of those, but you can also use straight up elastic. So this is a great way to get through a little bit of extra elastic if you have it in your sewing stuff. You'll need some good sharp scissors, and you're also going to need a crochet hook. Today I am going to use, I think I'll go with 3.75 millimeters for your crochet hook. Oh, you'll also need a yarn needle at the end. So let's get started. So first things first, we're going to need to cut our elastic to the right width. So if you made a scrunchie with this, it would just be a bit of overkill. You don't need it to be quite that wide. So what I'm going to do is just cut it to about a centimeter is a good width for like a basic hair elastic scrunchie if you're making it from your own elastic. Once you cut the elastic, fold it over on itself, put it around your wrist, and then give it a good stretch to make sure it's going to be long enough to get around your ponytail. Then, when you've determined that it's a good length, just tie a knot, and you'll see that your elastic looks kind of like one of those Lululemon hair elastics now. It's just a piece of elastic tied onto itself. And then tie your knot, pull really tight, and then you can just clip the ends pretty close to that knot. And that's it for the cutting of the elastic part. So you can put away your scissors for now, put away your elastic, we're done with that for now, and now we're going to move on to wrapping it with the yarn. So now I'm going to tie my yarn around the elastic just to secure the first bit of yarn. Nothing special here, just a regular knot. You don't have to go too tight, but don't go too loose. Something just secure enough. And then push that knot as close to that knotted piece of elastic as you can, and then insert your hook into the loop of the elastic. Get the yarn in front of your hook and pull the hook through that elastic hole. Then wrap your yarn again, chain one like that. So now that first loop is wrapped around the elastic. Now what we're going to do is single crochets around the elastic, as many as we can, all the way around until we're back at that beginning knot. And you're going to see the elastic is going to start curling over onto itself. That's okay, we kind of want that because that's going to make it look a little bit more round and a little bit less flat in the end. And don't really worry if it looks like your elastic is twisting on itself. That's not a big deal, because again at the end we're just going to sort of negotiate all of the single crochets around until they're nice and flat and uniform. So just single crochets all the way around to encase the elastic. And your elastic is going to look like it's covered, but if you stretch it, you're still going to be able to see the elastic. That's why we want to put in as many single crochets as we can, and that's just going to cover as much of the elastic as possible while it's stretched. So you can pause the video here and just continue single crocheting until you reach the other end of your elastic knot, and then come back and I'll show you what to do from there. When you've single crocheted all the way around your elastic and you're back up at the beginning where the knot is, if you're going to change the color of your yarn, you can do that now. If you're going to just keep the same color of your yarn, you can just keep going with these instructions. But I am going to change the color of my yarn. I'm going to add in this super beautiful sort of raspberry yarn. I think these two go together really well. It makes this one look a lot grayer in the camera, but it's kind of like a sage green. And I'm just gonna swap in this super pretty raspberry yarn. So after you've connected your new color, if that's what you're doing, you're gonna slip stitch into the chain 1 from our first round, and then chain 2. Now just half double crochet in every single stitch around, and it's going to, because there are so many stitches and when it's not stretched out, it's going to have a really pretty little ruffled sort of effect. When it's all stretched out, it's just going to look like a regular hair elastic, but when it's on your wrist or just when it's not fully stretched out, it's going to have a pretty little ruffle around because there are so many stitches being used to cover the whole elastic. If you want the ruffle to be even more defined on your scrunchie, just put 2 half double crochets in each stitch. That'll really bulk up the ruffle quality of your scrunchie. So just half double crochet all the way around, either once in each stitch or twice in each stitch, depending on the level of ruffliness you're looking for. And then come back to the video and I will show you the next step. A helpful tip if you're having a bit of trouble locating your stitches from the previous round because they all get bunched together like this, is just pull them apart. It doesn't look cute while you're crocheting, but it's not really important for it to look cute at this point. So just pull it apart so you can see the stitches really clearly, and after you get all the way around, you'll be able to sort of negotiate all those stitches back to hide the elastic. But at this point, it's more important for you to get every single stitch than it is for the elastic to be covered. And I'm only halfway around, but you can begin to see how that coverage of the elastic gives this beautiful little ruffle with the second color. If you did it in the green, it's pretty too, but I feel like this looks kind of like a row of roses or something. You could even end up putting a little applique leaf every inch or so, or green beads or something, and it makes it look like you've got like a little flower around. So I'm just gonna finish this row of the raspberry, and then I will come back and show you what's next. When you are back at the beginning, you could just slip stitch to the first stitch in that round, then chain 1, you could snip your yarn and secure it off. You can finish it leaving it there, but what I actually like to do is add a little applique to cover that knot. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this little pansy applique that I made. If you want to see how to do that, let me know in the comments and I will record a tutorial, but you can use any applique that you like. So this pansy, I'm just going to use the leftover tail end of that yarn. I'm going to thread my yarn needle, and then I'm going to place that pansy kind of over the knot as best I can, figure out where I want it to attach, and then I'm just gonna grab onto the petals and just stitch it down. It's not really important how you stitch this down because this whole side is going to be hidden between the elastic and the pansy, but I just like to grab as many stitches as I can with the yarn in order to make sure that it's super secure. Again, I'm going to grab the next petal from the pansy and go back in to my elastic, come back out and grab one more time. So you don't need it to be like crazy with the number of places you attach it, but do make sure that it's at least attached a couple of times in a couple of different spots. That's just gonna make sure it's super secure. And then I actually left a tail on my pansy when I was making it, so I'm just gonna tie the tail end of the elastic to the tail end of the pansy, give it a double knot for good measure, and then I'm just gonna trim all of my leftover tails to just over 1 centimeter long. That'll hide them behind the pansy, and that's what you get in the end. You get this adorable little flower on the edge of a scrunchie, so when you have it on your wrist, when you're just not using it, it's adorable, obviously. But if you don't put the pansy on, it's fine too. You can see this one, it's just the super basic, the first round. I didn't even do a ruffle round, and I mean, it's fine. It's great because it's cute on the top. The little elastic bulge doesn't show when you're actually wearing it. You can just make sure it shows up on the bottom. If you don't want to put an applique, you can also add an additional layer. So this has the first layer and then a second layer, second round, and then on the third round, I just added little petals. So to do the petals, it's the exact same as what we did in the tutorial for an easy spring flower. So if you go see that tutorial, we did these petals. I just did them all the way around the hair elastic. So go back and check that tutorial to find out how to do these little petals, but such an easy way to get rid of your extra elastic or to sort of dress up your elastics. If you've got a little girl and she's gonna be in a dance show or something, you can take whatever color of yarn you want that matches her costume and you can cover her hair elastic just to make it a little extra. So you can see the little ruffles, if you change colors, it kind of gives it like a roses on stems or something like that sort of look. If you keep it super basic, it's great for every day. And if you add ruffles, it's just a little bit extra. So that's the whole thing. How to crochet hair scrunchies and hair elastics. I hope you liked it. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel and check back because I do put out a new video every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.